Hello everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to work through Certified SolidWorks Associate Practice Level 15, Task 15.3. This exercise focuses on creating 4 different bracket configurations, so it's a great practice for understanding how configurations work in SolidWorks. For this model, we'll be using the MMGS unit system, so everything will be in millimeters, grams, and seconds. The origin is placed at the middle of the bottom plane, which will help us keep the model properly centered and easier to reference while building. There's also a useful hint for this task. Configuration 4 includes a linear pattern on the lower side. On the drawing, you'll also see a table with the dimensions for all 4 configurations. That table includes the volume of each configuration as well, which we will use to check the correctness of the construction of our model. So stay with me until the end, and I'll show you the full modeling process step by step, from start to finish. If you'd like to practice on your own, you can also download the 3D model from the link in the description and follow along with me. And if you enjoy SolidWorks tutorials like this, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss new videos every week. Alright, let's get started and open SolidWorks. First, let's quickly confirm the units. Yes, we're in MMGS, so everything is set correctly. Now we can move forward. To begin, we'll create the main UH1 model, and from this base part, we'll later build the required configurations. On the front plane, I'll sketch the bracket profile so the origin matches the drawing. This is important because it keeps the model fully aligned and makes the rest of the dimensions easier to control. Now let's add the key dimensions. Width B equals 68 millimeters. Height A equals 30 millimeters. Radius equals 4 millimeters. Offset equals 1 mm. Close the profile. Next, we'll apply an extruded boss from the midplane with a depth of C equals 20 millimeters. Using the midplane here helps keep the part symmetrical. Now let's add the 5 mm hole E on the side plate. The hole is positioned 10 mm in height. And then we'll use an extruded cut, set to through all. Great. Now we only need to add one more hole at the top. This one is 6 millimeters, and its center is placed at the origin. After that, we'll apply another extruded cut. And just like that, UH1 is complete. Before moving on, let's verify the volume. The result should be 2,392.4 cubic millimeters, which matches the value shown in the drawing. That means our base model is correct, and we're ready to continue with the configurations. Let's continue. Now we need to add 2 more holes for the UH4 configuration. These holes are 6 millimeters in diameter and spaced 60 millimeters apart. After that, apply an extruded cut and set it to up to surface. If it looks a little off at this stage, don't worry. We'll clean everything up later when we start working through the configuration-specific dimensions. For now, the goal is just to place the feature so it's ready for adjustment. Also, let's rename Cut Extrude 3 to UH4. That will help us stay organized and avoid confusion when we start editing the configurations later. Now that the base model is finished, we can begin creating the configurations. First, turn on View Dimension Names. Then select Boss Extrude 1 and Sketch 1. Right-click and choose Configure Feature. After that, the configurations window will appear. To the right of the Sketch 1, there is a button. Click it and select all dimensions. Click OK, and you'll see the dimensions added into the table. Now rename the dimensions according to the drawing. This is an important step because it helps prevent mistakes later, especially when we start working with multiple configurations. Next, name the table T1 and save it. We also need to add dimension C. To do that, double-click the model, then double-click the 20 mm dimension. That dimension will appear in the table as well. Great, now expand Cut Extrude 1 and double-click the sketch. You'll see another column appear, Sketch 2. Right-click the button and add the dimensions there too. Then change D1 to E. After that, double-click Sketch UH4. Now you can see another column has appeared in the table labeled Sketch 4. Let's rename the default configuration to UH1 and then add 3 more configurations: UH2, UH3, and UH4. Click OK, and then save the part. Now we need to update the dimensions in the table so they match the drawing. Let's go through them. For dimension A, UH2 is equal to 40 mm. UH3 is equal to 50 mm. UH4 is equal to 50 mm. For dimension B, UH2 is equal to 95 mm. UH3 is equal to 105 mm. UH4 is equal to 110 mm. For dimension C, UH2 is equal to 20 mm. UH3 is equal to 30 mm. UH4 is equal to 30 mm. For dimension D, UH2 is equal to 2 mm. UH3 is equal to 2 mm. UH4 is equal to 3 mm. Next, we need to suppress Sketch 4 for configurations UH1, UH2, and UH3. Click OK when you're done. Now let's check each configuration to make sure everything looks correct. Starting with UH1, it matches the drawing perfectly. Moving to UH2, the volume is 6,601.9 cubic millimeters, which also matches the drawing. Now for UH3, the volume is different. That means something is off. Let's double-check the table. I see the issue. I forgot to update the hole diameter E. It should be UH1 is equal to 5 mm. UH2 is equal to 5 mm. UH3 is equal to 6 mm. UH4 is equal to 7 mm. Let's fix that and see what happens. After updating, let's save and check the volume again. Now UH3 shows 11,735.8 cubic millimeters, which matches the drawing exactly. Finally, UH4, the volume is 17,681.5 cubic millimeters, also matching the drawing. Congratulations, we've completed CSWP Level 15, Task 15.3, 100% correctly. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. I post new SolidWorks tutorials every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.